might be one of the best finales of a TV show I've seen, period, I think. And I don't think that's like hyperbolic to say. I think they did a really good job. Somebody I know, one of my friends who's also watching it, she kind of felt like the season dragged a little bit in some aspects. And I was kind of like, I didn't feel that at all. I thought all the slow moments were like character building and like world building moments. Yes. But I thought this last episode, like they really went out with a bang.
I feel like the whole build up to this, what do they call it? This safeguard thing, right? That we kept hinting at in the last episode. It was like just had you like on the edge of your seat for the entire episode. I felt like
really since the penultimate episode where what's his name, the new Shadow actually like meets the AI or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that was like a sick cliffhanger too, because you're like, oh fuck, like what is actually going on here?
Yeah, a good episode. I like where they left it. Plenty of room to go forward. We already have the news of where they're going for the next season, so looking forward to that. But yeah, it's a pretty good cliffhanger, pretty good story so far.
It's an annoying cliffhanger for sure. I guess that's what a cliffhanger is though. So Juliet comes back to the main silo finally after a whole season of being away from it, which is fine. It was all good.
She learned a lot.
Yeah.
We got to meet our boy.
Solo.
He finds out from Lucas something, basically whenever they want to, whoever's running this thing in the shadows can just kill them whenever they want.
With gas. Yeah.
And Bernard, the head of IT, he loses all hope. He's over
the pipe
it.
just lets in air from outside, right? That's what
I think.
It's actually poison.
Yeah, it's
specifically poison.
Well, they say poison, but I think Dusty's right because simultaneously Juliet finds out with Solo. He had some information that his parents were aware of this, and I think she reads the schematics, and you see the pipe going to outside.
Oh, okay.
So
because the air is poisonous, so if they need to reset, they just pump in air from the outside. They don't have like gas in another chamber that they have to pump through.
We see Juliet going back into the silo. Bernard's leaving, and when they try to go back in, we know that there's a safeguard there, which basically burns and
like a decontamination system.
Decontamination, yeah. So they get burned, or what we think they get burned. Juliet has on a fire suit though, but that's
you assume one of them lives and one of them dies is kind of where that's where I took it is.
Well,
I think they both live. Juliet jumped on top of him, so she's protecting him with the fire suit, which
maybe he dies and she becomes the new head of IT.
There's no more IT after that.
You don't think so?
There's no more. Nah, it's chaos.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I was actually really surprised they waited until the last episode for all the tensions to erupt, but I'm glad they did it that way because a whole season of just like riots and shit might have gotten a little tiring.
I did want to bring up, it was a little bit jarring. It was about a little bit after halfway through the season. I think it was maybe 6 or 7 when it swaps to us finding out about the algorithm, basically. Yep. And it felt like it was a bit of a jump almost, like from one episode to the next. It was like, did I miss an episode? Like it was a little bit jarring. I can't remember the exact turn, but it was like episode 6 or 7. It was either like 5 to 6 or 6 to 7, one of those.
After
and that threw me off a little bit. It was like basically the introduction of the algorithm.
Gotcha.
When they like shot the rocket up, it was a bunch of stuff happening, and I was like, this kind of just came to a head without much buildup. So it was a little bit jarring to see for me.
The big twist raises some interesting questions, especially, well, not the big twist, but the AI specifically raises some interesting questions because, and I understand where, what's his name's coming from, Tim Robbins, Bernard, because like they're all told like this very specific set of rules. And the first season and a lot of this season, they lead you to believe that like Bernard is like this like deep state, Illuminati operative kind of guy, like pulling the strings and everything like that for control.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, and I'm not saying this to be like, I knew it all along. I never thought that was what his aim was. I always believed that he was like truly doing what he thought was best for the livelihood of everybody in the silo. Yeah. Obviously, he was going about it in like weird politician and like murderous ways at times. But I do think he always had like the benefit of the silo in his head when he did all these things. And that's why he's so upset, is because he was also lied to by everything, by history and like all he's supposed to do. The only thing that he had access to that everybody else didn't is just the relics, and he knew about like sort of
Everything.
the history of what had happened. I don't think he knows even what like happened. I think he just knows that like there was an old world and we're the new world and we have to
Yes.
stay in here. So
Yeah.
this is like a
I
complete.
mean, if you were paying attention, I don't see how you couldn't come to that conclusion, honestly. Like,
Yeah, I think they did a decent job of like kind of painting him out to just be like a
oh
bad
yeah,
guy.
at first for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But once you see more and you're like, this guy is just being misled, same way, like,
Everybody's a pawn.
Yeah. So
yeah.
another thing was the whole thing with Walker that was so obviously like a big ruse. I never thought that she would actually turn her back on them. I was almost fooled for a minute, but it turned out I was right. And then, turns out she knew
Yeah.
that what's his name knew that she was like the traitor and they were like pulling this whole big thing. So they telegraphed that pretty obviously, I thought. Jules's father sacrificing himself was a big moment because that's, she was like going back to see her dad. Like she specifically talks about her dad. So,
That was a great plan by them to get everyone down there and then to just blow the stairs up and just
separate
disconnect it entirely.
Yeah.
Like that was awesome.
It almost felt like if like the silo version of like a secession, like seceding from like the United States or something like that. Like they just cut themselves off entirely. It was kind of funny.
Go up into the mountains when shit hits the fan, and you'll find a lot of blown up bridges because people don't want people down in the in the flat hills coming up to survive.
She also gave one hell of a resistance speech. I was expecting Luigi to poke his head out. That shit was fire. If Bernard is dead, let's just say, somebody's going to carry the torch, probably Common.
Well, no, it's not Common. Because remember, the algorithm specifically wanted his wife.
So the reason I think that is because I think his wife is more, well, I guess maybe you're right.
You got to think his wife showed that she's willing to work with the people from down deep, and Common's character never was willing to work with them. So
well, that's what I'm saying.
I think the algorithm has already decided, like he's already put two and two together, like she's a better fit.
Well, right, but that's why I could see him taking over Bernard's spot. He like really diehard believes in like the cause and like the pact and like all that shit. She, I think, was chosen by the algorithm because she was able to win over the hearts of the down deepers.
Yeah. I think that's what matters going forward. I don't think this pact nonsense, like the secret's out. I mean, Lucas, we saw him tell Bernard, but like,
well, nobody knows about that except for Lucas, really.
I mean, yeah, as far as what we saw, yeah.
Almost none of that really matters. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, it does in the storyline for us, but like for them, they already know it's not safe to go outside. So that kind of quashes the whole like uprising. They're not telling us the truth. We saw the flash of green. Obviously, they're going to have to get the story of, well, that was like them displaying something that's not actually there.
They were about to go outside, if you remember.
That's what I was just going to say. They know.
The Civil War. The only reason they didn't go outside was because Juliet showed up coming back over the hill.
Which that shit was so hyped. That was like endgame shit on your left. She comes over that hill. That was good. But that's what I was going to say. Like they know that it's unsafe outside, but it seems that the life cycle of these silos is such that like you keep people jarred up for so long, they don't give a fuck what's outside. They just want to go. That's what we're starting to see, is that doesn't matter what they're being told, that eventually they will want to go outside. And that's why the contingency is in place of like gassing them all and starting fresh, because ultimately, and I think it speaks to like who we are as human beings. I was actually talking to my aunt about this. It's like, the show actually has made me emotional quite a few times when they are all discovering what life was like in the past outside of the silos, when they see birds and trees and stuff like that. Because as we know, nature is beautiful, and it's like an inherent part of being human. Like we aren't just like in nature, we are nature. We're a part of it. We are 100% tied to it. We are it. It's like the human instinct to want to be a part of it. So when they see all these things and it's super inspiring, like eventually it's just, I think the natural fate of the populace of these silos is that they're going to want to try to go outside no matter what. Even if you're told, we've seen it countless times now with the sheriff, the original sheriff, his wife, Juliet, like all these people, like it doesn't matter what they're told. They just want it. They eventually want to go outside. The question is though, why the algorithm wants to keep everybody inside. Now that I think is the more interesting question.
Right. And it's not really I mean, there's no really gas them and start fresh. How do you start fresh? You got a silo full of dead people. You bring in a whole bunch of babies and you say you're the first.
Maybe they
Like
have embryos fucking laying around. Who knows?
why would you need to wipe them all out? If they're gonna go outside, just let them go outside and die.
That's what I'm saying. It raises
There's a lot of unanswered questions of what's the man behind the curtain really like? Why would you wipe them all out? Because you can't start fresh. Who are you going to send in a group of people to?
Well, keep in mind we already know that they do a lot of birth control. What's to say that they don't harvest embryos and all this shit for like life? You know, there's a lot of questions that this raises now. Like you just said, why don't they want them to go outside? You would think that if they were like, oh, we have like a resistant population, fuck it, go outside. Have fun. Like, why would they want to keep them in so bad? There's a lot of interesting questions now that this raises.
Yeah, we may or may not get answers to. I don't know if we're going to get a lot of story in the silo in the second season. It sounds like mostly going to be the prequel stuff.
Yeah, so let's get into the big twist. So the episode wraps up with, or the season wraps up rather, with a flashback to what looks like sometime in our modern day, like 2024-ish, 2025. And maybe it's like the near future in our timeline because they got some like weird techie shit that we don't have. There's a congressman who's showing up to a bar to meet a woman and he gets scanned for radiation before he goes in by the bouncer.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a conversation and they're supposed to be there on like a date or what he thinks is a first date. But turns out she's there with a purpose and she's like a journalist or something. And she starts questioning him. And the conversation reveals that there was a dirty bomb attack on the U.S. by Iran. So Iran attacks the U.S., but the woman is specifically asking the congressman if the U.S. plans to retaliate. And he doesn't really quite answer her, but he leaves her a little parting gift that he picked up from the convenience store on his way over, which was the fucking relic, the Pez dispenser.
That's right.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
That was great.
And that's a wrap.
I think there was a newspaper clipping showing someone walking their dog with the like radiation suit on, essentially. Like,
so it seems like we're getting a bit of a fallout situation.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
But
she didn't. So she thinks, or I don't think it was confirmed if it was a dirty bomb, right? Like there was like some hints of it being some type of test gone wrong by the U.S. and they're trying to blame Iran for it as a dirty bomb. There's a little bit of that in there too. So,
and that was also my first instinct because we all know how the United States operates in real life.
Oliver Stone.
And so, but it was also too clean. I was like, there's no way this show's going to just do like propaganda like this, like because there's like current real life tensions with Iran.
Right.
And there has been. And like now that Trump's in office again, like he's going to start posturing to like every leader around the world. So it's like, I just didn't think the writers would like purposefully like stoke that to its viewers and be like, Iran's actually real bad. They're gunning for us.
Yeah.
So I kind of assumed that was the case. But yes, it seems like the United States is behind whatever happened. Or maybe not the United States, maybe just like some secret Illuminati group or whatever. And now their consciousness has been uploaded into this AI. I don't know. There's a lot of mystery and I'm here for it. I love this type of shit. Yeah. These are my favorite types of shows where you just like left guessing.
I actually might read the books.
I thought about it too.
Because there's only 3 books, right? Apparently there's 3 books and then there's like several short stories and he's working on a 4th book. And I don't know when we're going to get this 3rd season now. So I'm like...
Do you want to really ruin the show for yourself? I would probably wait until it's over at this point.
I don't mind because of how long I would have to wait. That's the thing.
Maybe it won't be that long.
It's not going to ruin it because I can still enjoy... I mean, it's like the same thing with Expanse, right? Like...
Yeah, but The Expanse was different because it jumped networks and this and that.
Yeah.
We waited a long time for Severance, but Severance, there was a writer's strike in between seasons and all sorts of stuff. Silo's got smooth sailing. I mean, if they're probably writing it already, if not almost done. They would just start shooting. There's no reason why it couldn't come out just the next year,
Yeah, but I also wanted to see the differences with
the
books and what we've seen so far.
So maybe you just read up to where we're at in the show. That might be a good
maybe
strategy.
because I mean it could take me a little bit.
Yeah, I would consider reading them too. I bet you they're really good. Again, the finale was excellent. It's an excellent show. It's probably my favorite show on TV right now, other than Severance. I can't wait for more. I guess there's like you said, just an all-out global nuclear war. I like first thing in my head was like some Skynet shit where like the
Right.
robots turned on us and like wiped away humanity or whatever. But I'm really super interested to like what Dusty said, like why, like what's the point of keeping people in? It doesn't make sense. Like if
I think it's aliens.
you think it's aliens,
Aliens got people in silos because they were ruining the planet, and you don't get to go out anymore because you can't be trusted
so you don't
with
think
natural resources.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think the greenery outside was real? Or do you think the world is really devastated?
Well, we saw Juliet actually go out. So you're saying, was her visor still somehow like corrupted in some way where what she saw was also like gray?
Yeah,
and
well,
shit,
if because you just said that aliens would be protecting the Earth from us, right? Keeping us in the
Yeah.
silos.
Yeah.
That would have to mean that the outside is actually lush and livable and beautiful, and they don't want us.
No,
to fuck it
no.
up
I
again.
don't think
Or
it
it's
is.
just a punishment. You never get to come outside again.
That's what I think
it
it is. Like,
You fucked
we're
up.
going to try to
Spilt the
restore
milk,
this planet that
go to
you've
your room.
destroyed.
Oh,
So
okay.
have fun in the silo. And if
That-
you come out, we're poisoning you with toxic gas.
That could be interesting, actually. That's interesting. I think it's more of like a Matrix situation.
Plausible.
Like we're batteries for the AI,
Yes.
but we're not in pods. I
Yeah.
don't know. We'll see.
Keep
Yeah.
the generator running.
It is a fantastic show, though. I really do like it.
It was
Yeah.
the best part was Lucas going to the connector tunnel and the AIs even
Knew him.
aware of what's going on down there.
But it knew him. It like knew who
Yeah.
he was. Like it's
Oh yeah, for sure.
This AI, it's first of all, I guarantee you, it's connected to all the silos,
Oh yeah, for sure.
and
Has to be.
and I guarantee you, Solo's parents found out about it and like destroyed the silo to shut it down so that it
Mm.
couldn't like spy on them anymore or whatever. So that's my theory.
I can see it.
And you know, it's such a layered story because they got you wondering what happened to the world outside, but also caring about these people in the silos. Like it's very well done. Like
Yeah.
it's almost telling two stories that are intertwined, not necessarily directly connected, but certainly intertwined. And it's like, it's cool that they give you space to like mentally focus on and care about like both things at the same time. Like
Yeah.
it's very well done.
I think season 1 came out middle of the year, around summertime or spring. And then season 2, we obviously just got at the end of the year. So like 18 months later. So we could
Wow.
potentially get one at the end of this year, or where it's going to be the end of this year. Or it's going to be next spring before we see season 3.
Jesus.
Remember, there's no strikes or pandemics or anything now, so
Right.
it should be
That's
smooth
true.
sailing.
They could already be, in full blown
Yeah.
production on the next season.
But yeah, folks, leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts and maybe theories on Silo season 2. No spoilers for season 3. We don't want to know where the story's going. Just give us your
Oh, God.
theories. Matter of fact, don't say it. No, leave a comment. Let us know what you thought. We hope you liked it. Leave a like on the video and all that good stuff.